Why do men find themselves drawn to a character as unsettling as Patrick Bateman from the iconic film American Psycho? This question has baffled many since the film's release in the year 2000. After all, Bateman is a character who, on the surface, appears as nothing more than a violent, narcissistic Wall Street yuppie. Yet, despite his dark and violent nature, men around the globe find a strange appeal in this character. In its essence, the fascination with Patrick Bateman is not about idolizing his violent tendencies or his narcissistic behavior. Instead, it seems to revolve around the allure of his character's complexity and the enigma that he presents. Bateman is a character who is living two lives, one of a successful Wall Street executive and the other of a nightmarish psychopath. This duality gives him a certain depth that is both intriguing and unsettling. Bateman's character, in many ways, is a reflection of the darker aspects of our society: the obsession with status, the superficiality, and the ruthless pursuit of personal gain. He is the epitome of the 80s Wall Street culture, a man who has it all but is driven by a deep-seated emptiness and a constant need for more. And it is this portrayal that strikes a chord with many men. In Bateman, men see a character who is not just a violent psychopath, but also a man who is struggling with his own demons. This struggle, as disturbing as it may be, resonates with many who are grappling with their own internal conflicts. And it is this relatability, coupled with the complexity of his character, that makes Bateman so appealing. Patrick Bateman is not a character to be idolized, but rather, he is a character to be studied and understood. He is a mirror that reflects the darker aspects of our society and our own selves. And it is in this reflection that men find a strange allure. Now, let's delve into the character traits that make Bateman so appealing by examining some of the key facets of his personality. One of the first things that comes to mind when thinking about Patrick Bateman is his obsession with perfection. And this isn't merely an overstated hobby or a passing interest. No, it's a full-blown, painstaking commitment to the minutest aspects of his existence. Take, for instance, his meticulous attention to detail. Whether it's his business card's precise font or the exact shade of white, Bateman's obsession extends to every corner of his life. His life is an exhibition of orderliness and precision, a gallery of perfection that's hard to overlook. And who wouldn't admire such dedication? Who wouldn't aspire to have that level of control over their surroundings? But it's not just his surroundings. Bateman's discipline also extends to his physical appearance. His rigorous fitness routine, which includes 100 push-ups and sit-ups each morning, is a testament to his commitment to maintaining an immaculate physical form. His body, like his life, is a well-oiled machine, a product of tireless effort and unwavering discipline. And then there's his fashion sense. Bateman is always impeccably dressed, not a hair out of place, not a wrinkle in sight. His high standards in fashion and grooming reflect a man who cares about how he presents himself to the world. He's aware of the role appearance plays in social standing, and he's more than willing to invest time and effort to ensure he's at the top. These elements combine to create a persona that is, in many ways, attractive. Men might admire Bateman's dedication and discipline, seeing in him a reflection of their own aspirations. After all, who wouldn't want to be the best version of themselves, to achieve a level of perfection that sets them apart from the rest? However, it's worth noting that this pursuit of perfection can become a double-edged sword, leading to a life that's as hollow as it is flawless. But that's a discussion for another time. For now, it seems that Bateman's relentless pursuit of perfection is one of the aspects that make him so fascinating. His obsession, while extreme, has a strange allure, drawing us into his world, making us wonder what it would be like to live life under the same meticulous lens. Beyond the surface-level perfection, Bateman's position of power is another trait that draws men in. Patrick Bateman, the central character in the cult classic American Psycho, is not just a man of meticulous habits and a well-kept physique. He is a power player, a high flyer in the world of finance, and a man of significant social standing. In the cutthroat world of Wall Street, Bateman is a successful investment banker. His career in finance represents not just a hefty paycheck, but also a symbol of power and control. Bateman's position allows him to dictate terms, a trait that many find appealing. The allure of power, the ability to control one's destiny and command respect, is something that resonates with many men. Bateman's high social status further amplifies his power. He is a part of the elite, mingling with the who's who of society, attending lavish parties, and dining at the finest establishments. This social standing, this prestige, is another testament to Bateman's power. It's not just about the money, It's about the influence, the connections, and the doors that open for you when you're at the top. But it's not just the power itself, but how Bateman wields it. He is assertive, confident, and unapologetic. He takes what he wants when he wants it, and doesn't let anyone stand in his way. This kind of assertiveness, this readiness to seize opportunities and make things happen, can be incredibly attractive. It speaks to a certain kind of ambition, a drive for success that many men can relate to. So, while Bateman's perfectionist persona definitely plays a role in his appeal, it's his power and control that truly make him a figure of fascination. It's the allure of being the one in the driver's seat, of being the one who calls the shots. Bateman's power and control, it seems, are another piece of the puzzle, adding to his allure. Despite the allure of perfection and power, there's a darker side to Patrick Bateman that we cannot ignore. This darker side is deeply entwined with his charm, his charisma, and his impeccable style. It's a side that's as seductive as it is terrifying, as compelling as it is abhorrent. Bateman's psychopathic tendencies are a chilling part of his character. He's a wolf in designer clothing, a predator hiding behind a mask of respectability. He's capable of unimaginable brutality and violence, yet he carries it out with a cold, dispassionate efficiency that's truly unsettling. His lack of empathy, his total disregard for the feelings and well-being of others, is a stark contrast to his outwardly perfect persona. And yet, paradoxically, these dark traits might also be part of Bateman's appeal. They represent a break from societal norms, a complete disregard for the rules that most of us live by. Bateman's dark side is a stark rejection of conformity, of the expectations and restrictions that society places on us. His unapologetic embrace of his darker impulses might be seen as a release, a liberation from the inhibitions that hold us back. However, it's important to remember that Bateman's dark side is not a license for us to emulate his behavior. Rather, it is a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and a lack of empathy. It's a chilling portrayal of what can happen when we let our darker impulses run wild, when we let the pursuit of perfection and power consume us. There's also a certain fascination with the monstrous, with the evil that lurks beneath the surface. Bateman's darkness is a mirror, reflecting back at us our own hidden fears and desires. It's a dark, twisted fantasy that draws us in, even as it repels us. The darker elements of Bateman's character, while disturbing, add another layer of intrigue to his personality. They make him more than just a successful Wall Street executive. They make him a complex, fascinating character that continues to captivate our attention, even as we recoil in horror at his actions. So, what do we make of this complex and controversial character? As we've journeyed through the enigmatic allure of Patrick Bateman, we've uncovered the many facets that create this character's irresistible appeal. From the perfectionist persona that manifests in his meticulous grooming and fitness routines, to the power player persona that's evident in his high-flying Wall Street job, and of course, the dark side that makes him a chilling psychopath. So why do men love Patrick Bateman? It's not as simple as admiring his wealth, his looks, or his power. Rather, it's the combination of all these aspects that makes Bateman a character men can't help but be drawn to. He's the personification of the extreme ends of the spectrum of what society tells men they should strive for: success, attractiveness, and dominance. Yet, he's also the embodiment of the dangers of taking these ideals to their utmost extremes, resulting in a character that's as fascinating as he is terrifying. But it's not just about what Bateman represents. It's also about how brilliantly he's portrayed. This character, with his polished exterior and chilling interior, is a masterclass in character creation. He's a paradox, a character study in contrasts, and this complexity makes him infinitely watchable. While his actions are undoubtedly horrific, his character is so well crafted that it's impossible not to be drawn in by his story. He's a warning, a cautionary tale, a mirror held up to society showing the potential dangers of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of perfection. Yet he's also a character that men can relate to, on some level, because he embodies the pressures and expectations men often face. Patrick Bateman, a character so complex and intriguing, continues to captivate audiences, demonstrating the power of well-crafted characters in cinema. This is the sum of all parts that make up the enigma that is Patrick Bateman, a character that, despite his dark side, men find alluring, relatable, and most importantly, unforgettable.